Hey, welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. Today we're going to learn the figure 8 bowing. Basically you're tracing out an 8 pattern with your right hand, though it's more of an infinity pattern from my point of view. It's a sideways 8, like infinity symbol. So a good first step for doing the figure 8 bowing is circular bowing, which I teach in another lesson. It's sort of like a more basic first step of just going D to A and getting your hand moving in a nice circle, getting your wrist involved. And so to transition to figure 8 bowing, there's a very simple first step and then a few progressive steps which I'm going to show you. So basically we'll do the circular bowing. And now something interesting will happen when we slur 2. You magically split that circle into 2 circles that go in a figure 8 shape. Just by slurring across the strings. D, down on D, and then up on D. Honestly, you have the basic idea if you get that down well. Why don't you take just a moment to pause and practice that. Alrighty, so if you're able to do that, and you did actually practice it, thank you. It's all about practice. Everything comes back to practice. Just consistent practice and good practice. It's really the hidden thing I'm trying to teach everyone all the time, any music student, how to practice not only well and efficiently, but in a way that's joyful. So that's what I hope you guys get out of this. But onward, let's go further with the circular bowing, or figure 8 bowing. We've already done circular. So we can do it G to D. And of course A to E. All the while just putting your attention on the way your right hand is moving, is your wrist involved. Really sink into these simple exercises. Treat them as a meditation. Really just enjoy the feeling of your hands moving, your body moving. Connect with your breath. It'll help you to play with more ease and relaxation and ultimately better. And these little exercises, they may seem simple once you get them. Your brain may be like, okay, I got it. Let's do a more complex, hard thing. But they're a great way to really connect with your body as you play. It's also a great break from doing more complex things. If you're doing some new tune like Devil Went Down to Georgia, Johnny solo, but you're kind of struggling with that, just simply go back to that's a practice called interleaving, which will help you a lot. Just interleave something with other things. So anyway, let's get back to more figure 8 exercises. We're going to move towards doing it with double stops. So the next step we're going to do is D to A to D. D, A, D, open strings. By the way, I'm in beginner's position and I've been playing it a little while, but I still find it useful to plant my left hand here just so I can focus 100% on the bowing. So it's a triplet, D, A, D, then up bow. And this is also going to create the figure 8 shape. I want you to pay special attention to your right hand and try to smooth out the curved parts, the ends of the 8. Helps to have almost barely perceptible pause So allow your hand to lift a little. Try to demonstrate this. You see that? Like by doing a little bit of lift, I get a little bit more of that H shape, and it'll make for a more fluid sound. Connecting with the feeling of it, and once you get it, there's a certain very deeply satisfying feeling of physically getting something. And if this is a struggle for you, simply go back to circular bowing and try to get that feeling of connection to your body with that. Okay, but now we're doing the triplets, D-A-D. Next step in our progression is we're going to simply do the same thing with hoedown pattern. As you go faster, your 8 will become a little smaller perhaps. Longer notes, maybe it's a little bigger. With that, be a little kid. It's like you're playing in the sandbox. Oh, we got a big 8, we got a little 8. This is fun. So the next step, and kind of the final step in just getting the basic thing down, is to integrate double stops with this. And to do that, let's pretend like, I'm just going to pretend like you've never done a double stop before. What I want you to do is, instead of going all the way to A, I want you to just do a slightly, do a smaller angle tilt. So instead of D, A, D, we're going to go. Does that make sense? So we tilt the bow just a slight angle instead of a bigger angle. The bigger angle would just get you to open A. A smaller angle gives you the double stop. A lot of people tense up when they do double stops. If you're doing that, you're not alone. Just try to use less effort. Make it a little lazier, a little bit more relaxed, more casual is the term I like to use most. Just kind of play it casual. It's no big deal. We're just here hanging out, playing fiddle. My friend Yuri is here. You know, we're just making music. It's just no big deal, right? So that kind of attitude, I'm not trying to say don't try and whatever. It's just like approach it with like a little lighter touch for double stops. So slowing it down. And then go back, put your attention back on the figure 8 shape so you can keep that and do the double stop. There's a lot going on, it might be hard. So a tip would be to slow it down. It's sort of the ultimate music student tip, slow down. Teachers are always saying that and trying to say it in a way that makes it get through to you and make it fun for you. Honestly, just the good sound of it is fun. And so that's really figure 8 in a nutshell. We can also do it, instead of going from a low string to a high string, D to A, we could do it going from a high string to a low string. So I'll do all the same steps though. Start with circular bowing, which is just A, down on A, up on D. Forming a counterclockwise circle. Master that, and then we do A, D, A triplets. I find that this figure 8 is a little harder to get the 8 looking really nice. So then we would do hoedown with the same idea. Very casual, no big deal. And then just make a smaller angle shift to get the double stop. Another way to look at it is you're just touching that other string. You just kind of kiss it a little bit. Peck on the cheek. So on the FiddleHed site, I have a bunch of exercises that'll help you to practice it, that start things that help you integrate it with fingering. You know, you can always make up your own exercises. You now have the basic idea on how to do this. You can make up your own exercises, but I present them just because it's helpful to have the guide for you to jump off from. Things like using it with first finger on D. So you can do a series, all different fingerings. You could finger the A string. And you could work your way to doing simple tunes like Twinkle Little Star. Actually, I think Mary Had a Little Lamb. Good. I'm a big believer in simple tunes, returning to them for your whole life to practice complex things. That works better. And eventually do it on fiddle tunes that you know and love, like Whiskey Before Breakfast. And so on. So that's the figure eight bowing. Let me know if it made sense or not. If you have more questions, just shoot me a question. And thanks for watching. Having a lot of fun making these lessons. And I'll just end by saying that I've had a long run in this place where you see me filming, and it's this last batch of lessons I'm doing is happening here, and it's a bit nostalgic, bittersweet, but also feels good to kind of end this run on this kind of group of lessons. So thank you for watching, especially if you've been watching a long time. All right, so long.
Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive, step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more.
Thanks for watching the videography. Excellent.
And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.